Welcome. Ouais, tu le sapin. J'ai rêvé de toi, Seigneur. Oui, j'ai rêvé de toi. satisfying. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Just a break. We have 3 minutes to start the show. 3 minutes to start with our discussion. Hey, zero vatos. I can see. Oi, my song. I love the way you, yeah, 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 oh baby. My song. I love the way you, yeah, 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 oh baby. Boss lady, bonsoir, Ni'ima, good evening. Thank you for joining. Good night. I just have 1 more minute to go. 1 more minute. Boss lady, how far now? The way I think I miss work. I know they are all boiler who will catch up on me. I know I'll surely post that for you. I know we can't make you fun. Me, I fast to see at the door, must get a check of our God. Those kind of fat this way. Money, I need a chop. That was that fasting. What, what the hell? How did I get there? Anyhow, 12 seconds. You laugh there. I'm having my Cambridge. Rain on him. Okay, it's time up, time and above. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Wherever you will be watching this video from, it's your girl Mama G in the building. In today's video, I'll be talking about bad parenting signs and its effects and how to change. You know, all manner, we can change from good to bad and from bad to good. So there's nothing that is permanent. In everything, we need to like go through it and it must change. Bad parenting, it must change in one way or the other. So I just thought it wise since we talk about relationship in this channel. I decided to share it out. That let's talk, not me sharing, because as a parent, we all have our own difficulties. We all have our own bad sides. So last video, I talked about the four kinds of parenting styles that we have. And maybe if you want to know, you can just go back to the last video and you know where you belong. If you are that kind of a parent, then we have to start making changes because moving towards our old age, we don't know what might become of our children if we are not there. We have parenting signs of over or under involvement. There are parents that don't just involve in anything of their kids. They have little or no discipline. Yeah, anything that your child does is always correct. You don't even want that you should shout at your child. At first, that is how I was. I never wanted anyone to shout at my child. If you holler my pikin, you baba me for me and you will wear one for trouser. So, but I came to realize that it wasn't a good thing I was doing. So I had to like step up my game. There are parents that are very strict and rigid in discipline. Are you that kind of a parent? Then you know where you belong. Also, parents that withdraw from affection and attention. We don't want to give attention to our kids. We give attention to money. We give attention in hustling. We give attention to our boyfriends. We give attention to earthly things in buying clothing, but we don't pay lots and lots of attention to those that matters to us. And who are those? Our own 9 months that we carry in our womb. We used to say, I be proud of my menses, so my menses really don't come. Now my 9 months menses, so now my 9 months waiting, where we get or we talk out to the years. But how do we attach ourselves to them? Are you a good parent to that child? Parents that are always shaming their children. There are so many things here. So let's look at the signs of bad parenting. There is this question that we always ask ourselves. Yeah, it's been a very, very difficult question, which always needs an answer. It's a two-way question. Am I a bad parent? No one will ever say I'm a bad parent or I'm a good parent unless something touches you, then you will know where you belong in the life of your child. It's not easy to feel like parenting skills. It's not easy to feel like a parent. Being a parent is a whole lot. It's cool. It is easy to feel like your parenting skills are below in a moment when nothing seems to be going your way. When we are doing this and they are not going our way, we feel that we are not succeeding. And you have exhausted your patience completely. If you find yourself in such a situation, what do you need to do? You have to sit up because the rise and fall of a man makes you stronger. You cannot fall and you remain down there. You must wake up and move again. The fact that you are concerned about whether you're making the right parenting choices is a good sign that you are not. In fact, it's a bad parent. You always think that what you have decided, what you have chosen is good. But at the end of the day, you recognize that you were just doing something very bad. You need to stand up on that. You need to stand up and then you relook and you rethink if you're on the track. If you're on the track, then you're correct. Sometimes it can feel like every choice we are making is monumental and every mistake significant, which is a very bad thing. Not all the choices that we make are very correct. Not every decision that we take are very correct. You need to stand up and you stay up your game. As a parent, when you realize that your daughter is doing something or your son is doing something, you need to correct that child. Instead of you sitting and focusing on the things that doesn't matter, it won't take you to anywhere. It won't lead you anywhere. You need to stand up and you feel whole again. We worry about the long-term effects of our choices, especially when it comes to negative interaction with our children. We have negative interactions with our children, but we have positive interactions with things that doesn't matter, with friends, with our phones, with money. It's not a good sign of a parent. You need to sit up. You need to change. You need to come out of that skill that is inside of you. You need to correct it for the betterment of our children, for the betterment of your own child, the one that you carried. If you do that one, you are going to like be the head and not the tail. But if you keep on giving the negative things, you are not showing any positive sign to your child, what are you expecting from that child? You are expecting nothing but shame and disgrace in the future, because the child is going to copy it from another person. And by so doing, you will not even get what you were expecting from the child. You are destroying the child's future and the child's goal. We stress over where we, oh God, we stress whether we are too harsh when yelled at them earlier. Yeah, when you correct a child, you don't need to stress over it. The children, they need that correction. For example, I remember when I was in primary school, something happened to me. I knew that my mom was going to beat the hell out of me, whereas she was not even thinking of that direction. Yeah, because my mom was very strict. Her discipline, her A was A, her B was B. That's why there are some things I even sit there and still looking, I'm still doubting. I go up to learn. It's after her death that I started learning some certain things. Because with her, I was not learning those things. I did not know about them. When a parent, when you shout at your child and you think that you are very harsh, you need to correct your tone. Yes, there are some tones that when we use to our children, when we use that tone to our kids in correcting them, we are sending them away. So we need to correct our tone, our voice, our vocal languages, the way we talk to them. We are supposed to make them our friends. We are not supposed to send them out. Correcting a child by scolding at a child is not bad, but the way you put it, it will matter a lot in the society. If we could have handled the children in a better way, other than scolding at them and sending them outside, it will be good for us. When you scold at your child, do not send that child outside. Bring back the child into the house. The child will cry and realize his or her mistakes, and we come back to say, Mommy, Daddy, I'm sorry. What I did, I discovered that it was wrong. But you have that parent, when you shout at a child or you scold at a child, you allow that child to go outside and say, you like go kiss electric pole, you like enter bottle hang. The child enter the bottle and hang, and then you start crying that my child is dead. Who caused it? It's me and you. Bad parenting. Every parent has those moments where they lose their cool. We've all made less than stellar parenting choices in a moment of frustration and confusion. Every parent has that cool moment that you don't want anything to come closer to you. You just want to be left alone. And at that point in time, something might be chopping up our children. We don't know. The child doesn't have anyone to talk to. Before you realize it, the child has gone somewhere else. And that is it. That's why we ask two mental health experts to share tips. We need to look for mental experts to share our worries with, to share what we are going through, so that they could tell us how to handle some certain situations in life. Because not everything in life, the two of us parents, we can handle. No. But the proud ones, the over-sabi, those that they know everything, they will never tell you that I don't know. They'll always be the boss for themselves, which is a very bad thing. When we talk about bad parenting, what does it mean? What is it all about? There are some things that we generally consider them as being bad. Yes, everyone knows that those things are bad. Bad as in BAD, bad. Physical abuse, neglect, emotional abuse, and sexual abuse are the most serious and damaging behavior traits that most of us equate with bad parenting. Physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. These three things. most of us parents that we claim that we are African parents, we neglect these things and they are very bad. These are the things that identifies us as bad parents. Yes, quote it anywhere, do your research, you will discover it. These things should be immediately addressed. We need to address these three things: the physical, emotional, and sexual. It needs to be addressed properly in our society. If you are a parent and you don't know how to handle these three things in the life of your children at the early stage, know that you are one of those that lead bad parenting, that is promoting bad parenting in the society. We need to work towards that. Beyond child abuse and neglect, what else do you think? There are also that things that parents may do or say that can unintentionally lead to adverse outcomes for a child. There are words that comes out from the mouth, right? You don't know it, but is affecting your child. This is because we do not know how to use our tongue onto our kids at times. It affects them, but we think that we are so like perfect. Our relationship with our children as is supposed to be that social, cordial, I mean so tight that we need to like handle with care. Yeah, we need to handle it and grasp it with care. Taking an honest assignment of a parenting style is not always an easy task. Yes, it's not an easy task being a parent. When we were young, we we're asking everything from our parents. Now they are asking for us. When Christmas is coming, you start thinking of buying Christmas dress. You start thinking of food. You start thinking of so many things. That is the responsibility that we have taken. And it shows that you are mature. Those are the things that things us as parents. But now, calling yourself or calling someone else bad parent isn't something to jump onto or based in different beliefs and different actions. A bad parent can easily change from bad to best. Yeah. All we need is just to support one another because bad parenting has overthrown our society. Looking at about a single parent nowadays, there are some that will not even care what happens to their kids in school. The functionaries with this new word that has come, that nanny on a house girl, has made more parents to neglect their duties as parents because they have entrusted everything into the hands of their children. The celebrity who lost the baby. So many have been talking up and down and up, east, west, north. I've not said they are bad parents, so don't quote me that I've said they are bad parents. I'm just all of us have cried and mourned. It's very sad for someone to lose the baby. But now, come to think of it, if you were at that position, you are going for vacation, you will not leave your baby. Yes. I remember those of us from Africa, you leave Kumba to Tengene, you carry picking for back, you dey go there. Flying in a jet, you keep your baby behind and you've gone. Enjoyment ministers. Today we are all money. We can change from that bad parenting to good parenting. How do we change? We need to start involving ourselves in the lives of our children. Yeah, we don't need to allow them do their things their own way. We need to start by involving in their life, asking them a lot of questions, following them up. There are so many things that we can do. Taking them out for lunch or for dinner if you have never done that or if you're not parent that. There are so many little things that we can do. Sit down and you tell stories with them. If it's a girl child, you can call her and ask her, Mama, you don't start see blood. If it's a boy child, you call him and ask, is your cucumber standing? You educate them by so bring some lively discussion. The simple things that you know that they can get from outside, start bringing it inside. Forget that your busy schedule that you have at work. spend an hour. There is nothing more than our time that we offer to our kids. There is nothing more than our time. The little time that we give to them matters a lot. I mean, the 5 minutes you offer for your child for a day, it matters a lot in that child's life. That child will not forget that hour. Be disciplined. Try to implement some disciplines onto your child's life. I remember even at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19, my mom was giving us time to stay outside, which was 8 p.m. Even though between that hour, there are some moms that or some girls that can still do things. But between that period, 8 o'clock, you're outside, you don't die picky. Yes, we have to be disciplined. There are some parents that when you go to their homes, you see the way they are like reacting with their children. You find love. You pray, God, give me a child. Let me just, I think, yeah, Mr. Collins, good evening. Oh my God. I greet you, Uncle Van, all the way from Bahrain. Thank you for joining. That's my one and only parasite, my query and fighting partner. Stay safe for my dear. Stay safe. Yeah. Implement some disciplines onto the life of your children so that when you say stop, they will stop. It shouldn't be that because you have entered Big Bear and you have landed somewhere. You want to live like everything there needs to be the way it is in the country that you are. No. We come on Africa. If you want whip am fine. So that means no say we do am be bad. You know go do am again. We need to give them attention and affection. By so doing, there are some things that we'll discover. They will tell us that we have never heard. I was somewhere, a child came and said, Mom, it's time to sleep. I said, sleep? What's time to sleep? Who give that right? You can't tell me say time to sleep. Don't wish. If I wash you crack or hear you understand my government. Let's say, no, mommy, that's what it is. I say, really, I say, okay, sure. I don't hear. What next? Because the mother had already made him to know that at that hour, he is supposed to go to bed. We need to implement discipline into the lives of our children. At least some peace will reign, something will happen. What next? Give them affection and attention. By so doing, we realize that your own will be at peace. You yourself, you feel some relax and some comfort. No one will be disturbing you and asking you questions. Stop shaming your child. Stop shaming your child. When you're shaming your child, you are putting her into fear, and she know that she might be a failure. Yes, which is not good. Oh, shame. No. Correct them judiciously. Do not shame them. Because whatever we tell them today, next 20 years, they will still say something happened. My mother said this to me. I can still remember when I was in primary 3. Yeah. My primary school teacher, I love that my madam so very much. I wish to see her one day. I'll never forget when she told me, don't go to class or go to class. I said, no, ma, the class that you are, that's the class that I want to go. We need to put up our kids to the standard that we want. Effects of bad parenting, negative self-perception. A parenting mistake that can have lasting consequences is the overuse of negative labels and shaming. Small thing, oh, you can't do this. Negativity, we don't even prophesy. They say when you don't want to go to church, and when the pastor will say, sow a seed, bring tithes, or bring with you, now so that time that your skin they work. You don't know that you say, so man, we don't talk bad talk about it. Only you, the parents, the bad words that we use carry it behind our children. If they carry back for their back, they take and go. We need to control our tongue. The negative words that we pour out of this mouth is poison. It's very, very poisonous. As we are throwing out that word, that is how it's going. So we need to stop it. When we stop it, we are going to understand and enjoy our children. We need to control issues and not to be rebellious over our children. Whether you are children who experience over rigid or strict discipline can have issues with control of. That's they don't even feel as if anything, as they just live in fear. Why? We need to make them sit up. We don't need to make our children live in fear. When they start living in fear, us we are failures. Because we want it tomorrow on our belly. We were not opening up. We did not give them that chance to talk to us. So they went to where they could talk to them, and it happened the way they could experience. So why? Emotional and behavioral problem, harsh parenting, verbal or physical threat, frequent yelling and insulting, hitting, pikin want do small thing you don't push up, pikin want do small thing you don't knack am, pikin want do small thing. That child will not grow up with you. That child will grow and then the child will grow. So we need to stop these three things. These three aspects, we need to correct them for our children to come back to us. If you find this video interesting, then just give it a thumbs up. I'll be stopping here for tonight. I have to go to work tomorrow. So we'll continue again with what can you do to stop bad parenting? That's the next topic that we are going to share, I think, tomorrow. If I'm not so very tired, we'll talk about that tomorrow. How to stop, or what can we do to stop bad parenting? Because it has chopped us so very much and we don't even know how to go about it, how we can stop it, or what else we can do. Thank you guys for joining. Love you all. See you again in our next video. I'll give you a share so that you understand that we are live. God bless you all. Good night from the land of smiles.